Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on here really quick, and I want to try to make this as quick as possible because I don't really have a lot of time, and this is the day after the 4th of July, so I want to try to post this as soon as I can. But I wanted to go ahead and just talk to you guys about the illusion of freedom. We are not really free. We are not really a free country, and we never have been a free country. This is going to piss off anybody that's on the right, anybody that identifies as a conservative. But you know what? I need to speak my truth. I need to talk about. I want to come at this from my own perspective on what I've seen in terms of how most people live their lives, how most people are slaves to the system. You are basically forced but not forced to take jobs that you don't want so that you can pay bills and keep a roof over your head and just continue to try to survive in the rat race. It's like a hamster on a wheel. You dangle a little piece of cheese in front of it, and it just keeps going on that wheel, and it just keeps spinning on that wheel, and sometimes the hamster grabs a bite of the cheese and sometimes it doesn't. That is pretty much the whole functionality of the United States of America. Now, I do appreciate some of the freedoms that are afforded to me, such as, I don't have to drive down to the beach or drive down to the park and have to tell somebody where I'm going directly. The government already knows where I'm going. My phone and everybody else's phone devices, computers, tablets are all hacked. They are all spy tools for the government. So you don't necessarily have to ask some government official's permission to go somewhere like they're your parent, but they're still watching over you. But nonetheless, I'm at least happy that I get to do that without having to overtly consult another adult about what I get to do as an adult. So that's great. I'm also thankful that I get to that I get to be a free agent. I get to make my own choices in regards to what career I want, or what responsibilities I want, what relationships I want, what I have the freedom to at least be honest with myself. But this is not a free country. Make no mistake. And I'm not even saying to go somewhere else, because really there is nowhere for anybody to go, just as long as there is this deep unconsciousness within our humanity that continues to perpetuate itself. As long as people are unaware, which is 95%, someone even said 97% of people are completely unaware, don't understand themselves, don't really know what they want, are confused, are very easily manipulated, are very easily coerced. Someone said it was 97%, which is 2% more than what I've been saying, which is kind of crazy. But most people, until they can finally be honest with themselves and be conscious of who they really are, well then you're not really free. You don't really have free will. That is exactly what God is talking about when he refers to free will. Never mind what Christian ideologies will teach you about that. Never mind, even what the Bible will teach you about that, which I read the Bible. I don't read everything in the Bible, but I do read certain parts in the Bible that are supposed to convey a certain message to people so that it gets out there and people can understand who God really is, how, you know, how much love he has for his children, who Satan really is, who you know, how, you know, who Jesus really is. You know, we don't really have free will. We are not really free until we can become aware of who we are. It doesn't mean that we're going to be necessarily perfect right away. This is going to even piss some Christians off, but even Jesus was not 100% perfect. Jesus still had doubts. He still was tempted. He was tempted by Satan a couple times. So we are never, you know, at least not as of right now, we're not going to reach 100% perfection, but we should strive. We should always strive to become the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Now, going back to this illusion of freedom, because, you know, most people, when you tell them, because I had this conversation with a couple people last night, most people will tell you, you should just be grateful. You should be grateful that you live in this great country that we call the United States of America, that is the #1 superpower in the world, that we are the strongest nation among other nations, right? Very similar to Rome. And they will very quickly go to, you know, if you don't like being here, well, then why don't you go somewhere else? Well, because really, there's nowhere really to go. The reason that most people will migrate from other countries to live here permanently is because we are not quite so as dictative or as oppressive as some of these other countries. Some of these other countries are just very overt about how they continue to oppress their people and how they continue to rule over their people. They are just more obvious about it. And compared to the people here that live here in this country, at least these people over there know that they are not free. At least these people over there know that they have to fight for their freedom, or they have to go somewhere else, or they have to navigate, you know, the Taliban and, you know, all these rulers and these dictators and these, you know, these leaders, right? At least they know that because it's right in front of their face. Here in America, and even in places like Canada and in some of these other European countries, because let's be honest, there's not really a whole lot of disparity between America, Canada, and some of these European countries like the UK or Spain or Italy. There's not really a huge difference there. Do they operate in their countries different ways? Yeah, sure. But, you know, but the Western culture and the European culture are a lot more covert about the way that they oppress their people. We are under the illusion that we are free, which, in my opinion, is a lot worse than what's going on over there overseas. Because at least they know, at least they understand. We don't really understand. Think about what percentage of your earnings goes right to taxes, especially income tax. Think about how many rules and how many regulations are continually being stipulated across the country. And notice how if you go to if you live or you go to blue states, they're very oppressive in their own way. But then you go to red states and they're just very oppressive in their own way. They are very regulatory. They are very, like to pass bills, and they like to sign off on, who gets to do what, whether or not marijuana should be legal, or whether or not, people should be able to, women should be able to take birth control, or whether or not women should be able to take Plan B, or, whether or not anybody should be able to own a firearm if you live in one of the blue states. So there's not really a whole lot of disparity between the red states and the blue states either. It's all an illusion. It's just all an attempt to try to divide and conquer, divide people, make people hate each other. It's all a game to them. It's all just a video game to them. And that's essentially what all of this is. That is essentially what humanity since the time of Adam and Eve has been. It has just been one long version of the Truman Show. None of this is actually real. What you've been told your whole life growing up about what this country really is. I mean, I'll give you one example. Of course we've all heard about, the whole slavery thing, and, and the whole, like we took this country away from the Indians, which is something that I strongly disagree with people on the left about, because, if they really were, did love their, love their land and appreciate their land, well, then they would still have it, right? But, some of these, chiefs and some of these people, made, these deals, these backdoor deals, with some of these leaders that came over here. And I mean, our founding fathers weren't really the people that, I'm not talking about it from the left's perspective. I'm talking about from a historian perspective, an observant perspective. George Washington wasn't really, he either had sex with one of his slaves or he raped one of his slaves, right? So really think about what this whole country is based off of. I'm not going right. I'm not going right. I'm not going left. I'm not even going center, to be honest. I think that, like, politics, the more, over these last weeks, this whole, politics, religion is just a huge turnoff to me. I can't even be in the middle, because to claim that you're in the middle, assumes that, that you're cherry picking certain aspects of the right and certain aspects of the left, and making it your own, when both parties and both ideologies are very equally, one is not worse than the other and one is not better than the other. They are very equally misguided and are meant to destroy, divide, and conquer our society. And, someone told me this yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and try and wrap this up, but someone told me this yesterday that, because I was talking to them about, like, how much, rage and, road rage and people fighting with each other, that I've seen as I was doing Uber and Lyft, and how crazy it was. And he or she brought up the possibility that it's because it's Thursday and, people work on Friday, and so a lot of people are very uneasy about that. They are a little pissed off about that. So if we really are a free country, why do we even need a Freedom Day? Why do we even need a 4th of July to begin with if we really are a free country? Think about that. Really just set your ego aside. Whatever you think or whatever you've been taught about the United States of America, whether it's from your conservative parents or whether it's from your liberal parents, put that all on the back burner right now and really think about whether or not you can really truly consider yourself free. Because we are not free. We are not a free country, and we will not be a free world until we can enter a deep state of consciousness within ourselves. So anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon.